My fellow North Hill students, I stand before you today, a truly humbled member of this esteemed student body. It is on this proudest of days that we stand on the precipice of greatness with the power to shape the world as we see fit. It is in this spirit that I say wholeheartedly, ask not what your school could do for you, ask what you could do for your school. All joking aside, congratulations everybody, this is it. This is the big show. Our known lives have been building up to this moment, and now that it's finally here, I hope that I speak for everybody in saying that it's gratifying, overwhelming, and a little surreal. This student body has grown up together for 12 long years, give or take, and now we stand shoulder to shoulder at the gates of adulthood. We have forged unbreakable bonds with yet-to-be lifelong friends. We have feuded amongst ourselves, but have ultimately settled on the side of brotherhood. And we have left behind a mostly favorable legacy that will be difficult to match for years to come. Here today, our experiences have come full circle, and I believe that it is only fitting that we face the uncertainties of tomorrow together as one. But the path ahead will be full of adversity, and the challenges of the information age will be innumerable. But despite the fog that lies between us and the future we seek, each and every one of us has a debt to North Hills that we must spend an entire lifetime repaying. It is a debt that we cannot account for in simple money, but rather in currencies of community service and personal achievement. When we volunteer at the shelter, clean the highway, and donate the food and coats, we revere North Hills. When we become the CEO, audition for the role, and patent the new idea, we honor North Hills. When we buy the new home, raise the family, and send sons and daughters of our own off to graduations, we venerate North Hills and pay back our debts with interest. Only by being complacent, by not actively striving for a better world, do we default on our debts and let slip the future that is now so thoroughly within our grasp. Complacency breeds apathy, and apathy breeds ignorance. We cannot sit and watch as our neighborhoods continue to crumble and fall into disrepair. We cannot sit and wait while our planet becomes more toxic and barren by the day, and the hungry, the poor, and the sick all cry out for us, the privileged few, to help them. Every person is susceptible to the plague of complacency. Therefore, we must all be on guard. We represent the movement we seek, the movement we need. We cannot pass the burden on to another generation of high school graduates. We will work, or work we must. But despite all the challenges which await us all, I am optimistic. I see opportunity in the obstacles. The best and brightest rarely begin with the fortune with which they end, and so too will the hurdles that we face make us a stronger, more competitive force to be reckoned with. The only time our power is diminished is when we doubt it ourselves. When we surrender by saying, let somebody else handle this, or I can't do this, I'm just too stupid. I fully believe that people are born as blank slates, and that no single person has more inherent ability than the next. It is only in one's personal drive to realize ambition and to seize the next rung on the ladder that true talent is measured. The theme of today's ceremony is defining moments, and I'm sure that for the vast majority of us here, today is sure to be precisely that. Today is a day upon which we will reminisce for years, a truly permanent fixture on our minds. Today is a day which comes with a great deal of joy, but the happiness is bittersweet. After today, many of us will be leaving for colleges hundreds of miles away, or perhaps for deserts thousands of miles away, departing from friends and family and leaving childhood officially behind. And while some of us have the insatiable longing to move on, there is no denying that, despite the love-hate relationships that we may have forged with Pittsburgh, North Hills, or our families themselves, this place is home. But the beauty of home is that you can always come back, and while we are actively encouraged to go off and create new defining moments in our lives, North Hills will always leave the light on. For as much as this place needs us, we need it. I've come to realize that despite how far away I may be from North Hills, the friends I've made and the experiences I've shared with them here make it impossible for this place to ever truly leave me. My experience at North Hills has been a melting pot of emotional reactions, pride, joy, and security, as well as a fair amount of frustration. Yet in spite of all of the quirks that North Hills has to offer, I know that I would have never had it any other way. I am proud to be a North Hills Indian. I searched for a long time to find the proper closing to this speech. I was hoping for divine inspiration, something perfect to just hit me on the head, something I could just copy and paste into here to leave you all crying in amazement. But it wasn't quite so easy. And in the end, I decided that so long as I was going to use the voice of President Kennedy, it would only be appropriate for me to use some of his words. Now the trumpet summons us again, not as a call to bear arms, though arms we need, not as a call to battle, though embattled we are, but a call to bear the burden of a long twilight struggle, year in and year out, rejoicing in hope, patient in tribulation, a struggle against the common enemies of man, tyranny, poverty, disease, and war itself. In the long history of the world, only a few generations have been granted the role of defending freedom in its hour of maximum danger. I do not shrink from this responsibility. I welcome it. I do not believe that any of us would exchange places with any other people or any other generation. The energy, the faith, and the devotion which we bring to this endeavor will light our country and all those who serve it, and the glow from that fire can truly light the world. So we must ask ourselves here today, North Hills, what kind of generation we would like to be. Will we be the generation of fast food and the credit card shopping spree, or a generation more healthy, educated, and prosperous than the one we follow? Will we be the generation of Jersey Shore, or a generation that cures cancer, goes to Mars, and stands firmly against today's common enemies of man? Will we be the generation of doers and builders rather than a generation of complacent nobodies? Although our struggle will be brutal, and although we as fallible human beings will never truly reach the utopia that we all collectively desire, I believe that we can do no wrong by reaching for it all the same. Today is a defining moment, North Hills. Cherish it, remember it, but most importantly, use it. Never forget where you came from, yet never forget what you still must do. Thank you.